Okay, we are talking about self-gaslighting, how to claim your inner truth. If you have not heard of this before, well, welcome, and now you're going to hear about it. Why I feel confident and know that this term applies to individuals that are different thinkers, dyslexic, ADHD, autism, those types of traits, whether they've been identified or not, is because quite often going through a schooling system not designed for that type of brain and that style of learning means there were a lot of times that unintentionally people told and said to an individual that, well, what you're feeling or thinking or observing isn't actually real. And so quite often this is one of the hurdles that actually needs to be addressed early on. What I've also found is that for leaders that are very kind and empathetic and generous, they also can get caught up in ways by vendors, employees, those types of things that might just cause them to doubt themselves at a pretty high level. And so knowing how to handle that can be really, really important. So that's why we're hanging out today, and that's my topic. Now that I've explained it a little bit more, just a reminder, self-gaslighting is when someone's gaslighting you and it's causing you to question your own perceptions, memories, skills, abilities, thoughts, instincts, and even your own sanity. Over time, this external influence becomes internalized and your inner dialogue starts to work against you. You start questioning all of your decisions and your choices in real time, which makes it really hard to move forward, to grow, to lead, to have self-confidence. It erodes a bunch of things. And I don't want that for you. You don't need that. That's just not necessary. So what I do about it, I help people work with that. And I created a really simple acronym called CLEAR, just to make this simple, that I use. I can't promise you I completely made it up. It's probably a hybrid of a few things I've heard over the years. So CLEAR is catch the self-gaslighting. It's always important when it comes to internal dialogue to just start to identify, oh, hey, there's that thought. And that thought, I need to question that thought. So what it might sound like is, maybe I'm overreacting to this. Oh, I should think about that. Or it probably wasn't as bad as I think it was. Or, well, other people have it worse. When you start to hear that in your internal dialogue, that's a hint that you are actually, you're selling to yourself a different form of reality. And you need to pause. And this is the time to catch that. Start to hear that and shift it. Listen to your emotions. Start to actually say to yourself, oh, I'm feeling these emotions, and that's okay. They're valid. They can exist. I don't have to react to them. I don't have to add to them, but they exist in this space. That's good. Examine the origin. I don't encourage people to over-examine. I don't want people to get stuck in the past. That is definitely a space and time and grace to be utilizing counseling services. If you want to really start to dig into the origins of some of the self-gaslighting, if we're not able to turn it off, if it's not easily shifted, yes, it should be examined. But that can be simple things like, who else did I know that sounded like this? Was this a boss I had at some time? Somebody in leadership? Was this a parent? Was this, who sounded like this? Was this a grandparent? That also helps you. Or was it a societal thing? Don't skip that one. Society can have a lot of rules and you take them in. Different cultures, different religions. It all plays out in how we judge what we're seeing and doing. The next part of CLEAR is affirm your reality. Literally just be like, oh, my perceptions matter. My perspective on this matters. Whether anybody else wants to hear it, I want to hear it. I know that it's valid. I'm allowed to trust what I felt. I don't need other people to tell me, yep, that's what happened. I can say that to myself. I can say, boy, that's how I took it in and that's how it felt for me. That is your lived experience and you have a right to it. And then the last part of CLEAR is rewire with repetition. It's about that repetition. So that means you don't do it once. This means you work to apply this to your life time and time again, so that you are able to catch, listen, examine, and affirm over and over again, quickly and faster each time, so that it gives it immense momentum, and this self-gaslighting just moves on. I know I've made that sound really easy. It's probably easier than you think. It's also probably a whole new set of muscles internally that you have not used, so it'll be clunky at first. So what? That's fine. Start to reclaim your confidence, your worthiness, your internal feelings. They're really probably quite right. I know this. When working with my clients, people know a lot more about what's really going on than they sometimes even allow themselves the honesty of admitting to or living in. And once you start to live in that space of your reality and how you're experiencing life, and not taking on other people's stories and the junk other people might be putting on you, which is what is happening if somebody's gaslighting you. Once you peel all that off, it's incredible who I find underneath a lot of that. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you want to hear more about that, I would love to hear your stories of how this might relate to you. If this was valuable, pass it on to somebody else. Please share. I'm Georgina, international neurodiversity coach and unconventional leadership coach. Thank you so much for your time, and I will catch you next time.